Hello again and welcome back to my channel. In today's lesson we'll learn about how native speakers pronounce 6 vowels combinations. In another video we saw how to pronounce alpha iota and omicron iota as one sound. You remember that alpha iota sounds like E and omicron iota like E. Today we're gonna learn how to pronounce the same diphthongs as two sounds and why this is happening. Notice that a diphthong is two sounds that make one syllable. We also learn about two new combinations, alpha eta and omicron eta. So, let's get started. Okay, we all know that alpha iota as one sound is like E. Let's see some more examples. Ηφαίστειο, ταινία, μαχαίρι, καταιγίδα, ποδόσφαιρο. But there's also an alpha iota as two sounds. Then alpha has a stress mark. Listen to the examples. Νεράιδα, τσάι, Μάιος, πλάι, which means next to. And finally, γάιδαρος. The diphthong alpha eta always is pronounced like two sounds with or without a stress mark. For example, αηδόνι and κελαϊδό. But there's also an alpha iota sound with a diaresis. We put the diaresis on it only if alpha iota doesn't stress. We do this because we have to show that the alpha iota must be pronounced separately. Examples. Αητός, χαϊδεύω, παιδάκια, which means pork chops. Now about omicron iota. We know again the omicron iota sounds like one sound as E. Let's see some more examples. Οικογένεια, κοιμάμαι, ανοίγω, and τείχος. But as alpha iota, omicron iota sometimes has to be two sounds. Then we have to put the stress mark on the omicron. Examples. Κορόιδο, ρολόι, σόι. There's also an omicron iota sound with a diaresis when it is not stressed in order not to confuse it with the omicron iota as one sound, as an E. Examples. Βοηδάκι, which is a little ox, and ευνοϊκός, which means conductive. Finally, the omicron eta is pronounced always as two sounds stressed or not. Βοηθώ means help, and βοήθα, which is the imperative of βοηθώ. Now let's have a recap. As we've already said, alpha iota can be one sound and is pronounced like e. Then the stress mark, if the diphthong have to be stressed, must be on the iota letter. Pezo. But into some words, alpha iota must be separated as two sounds, a and e. In this case, I'm sure that the diphthong have to be stressed, because otherwise it must have on the top of the iota the diaresis mark. So from the examples, you can see that the letter which is stressed, it is the letter with the stress mark. Mάios. The stress mark here has to be on alpha. And φαΐ. The stress mark here has to be on iota. And then alpha iota with the diaresis never is stressed, otherwise the diaresis doesn't need, and always it is pronounced like two sounds, a and e again. Paithakia. If we don't put the diaresis on this word, maybe we could confuse it with the word paithakia, which means kids. And finally, alpha eta always is pronounced like two sounds. Αηδώνει. Now for the omicron iota. When it is one sound, I mean e, and it is stressed, the stress mark goes on iota. But when it is two sounds, the stress mark can go on the vowel which is stressed. Omicron iota with the diaresis doesn't have a stress mark, because if it had, the diaresis wouldn't need. And for the end, the omicron eta always is pronounced as two sounds, stressed or not. Okay guys, this is the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give a thumbs up and subscribe for my next videos. For more lessons, visit greekwithalexa.wordpress.com and find me on my all social media. See you next time. Γεια σας!